Welcome back to the Archive Network. Aurelius here with Malik, curators of the Exploration Archive. We left Christopher Columbus last time, and as the fleet pressed westward, the maps in Columbus's hands began to evolve. Today, we pick up where we left off. Dawn broke with a promise, casting a golden hue over the horizon. We watched as the fleet stirred to life, the carrack and two caravels slipping from the harbor like shadows. Their keels sliced through the swell, the sound invigorating, mingling with the salty tang of the ocean air. This was the beginning of an adventure, one that would forever alter the course of history. We stood on the brink, knowing that the choices made today would ripple through time, shaping destinies far beyond our sight.
You frame it as an adventure, Aurelius. But what about the reality for the sailors? Salt spray may fill the air, but the men below deck faced unwashed bodies and rotting food. The ocean's vastness was as much a threat as it was a promise. They were not merely voyagers. They were laborers battling uncertainties.
True, the sailors encountered hardships. The early days at sea established a rhythm of anxiety that was hard to shake. The winds were fickle, sometimes steady, other times leaving them adrift for days. These men were caught between hope and despair, navigating not just the vast ocean, but also their own fears and uncertainties. They forged ahead, driven by ambition. In the pursuit of greatness, we often forget the price paid by those who dare to venture into the unknown.
But was it truly a calculated gamble? Columbus's overconfidence misjudged the vast distances ahead, and that miscalculation created rising tensions among the crew. They'd signed up for months of exploration, not for an endless trial of endurance on the open sea. With each passing day, anxiety mounted, turning the camaraderie into frustration. It was heartbreaking to see how the crew's well-being was sacrificed for Columbus's ambitions. Their hopes were fading, and they felt trapped in a journey that seemed to have no end.
Every sighting of a bird became a beacon of hope on those endless waters. For Columbus, these were vital indicators, signs that land might be near. Floating debris stirred imaginations, igniting dreams of discovery. Yet, superstition ran rampant, leading to heated arguments among men already strained by their circumstances. Navigating the sea was one challenge. Navigating human nature, with its fears and frailties, was another entirely. We often forget how easily hope can turn into despair when the horizon seems unyielding.
You speak of hope, but the reality was far darker than we imagined. Friction bubbled up over dwindling rations and chaotic watch schedules. Some seasoned sailors began to question Columbus's theories, which only deepened the rift in authority. A captain's skill is crucial, sure, but the crew's trust is just as vital. When the seas turned rough, that trust felt more fragile than ever. It was the people on board, their fears and frustrations, that made this journey so complex.
One vessel lost sight of the others in the storm, and that's a terrifying prospect for any captain. The weather was a relentless foe, battering the ships with a heavy squall that tested the very seams of their vessels. Equipment failures turned everyday challenges into life-threatening situations. Waves crashed against the hulls, reminding every sailor that the ocean is unforgiving. In moments like these, the strength of their resolve was put to the ultimate test, revealing just how fragile our dominion over the seas can be.
Yet the struggle was more than just physical. The sailors faced the relentless specter of scurvy, a cruel reminder of how vulnerable they were. Columbus promised untold riches and lasting glory, but the reality was often rationed, salted meat and dark whispers of illness spreading among the crew. His vision was undeniably grand, but the human cost was staggering. Each man aboard was a story of hope and hardship, and that's the raw truth of exploration.
Amidst that turmoil, moments of unexpected beauty emerged. One night, as the relentless wind finally died, the stars hung low in the sky, glimmering like scattered jewels. Bioluminescent waves painted the dark water with an ethereal, ghostly light. For sailors, those worn and weathered by countless storms, this was more than a pretty sight. It was a fleeting glimpse of hope, a reminder that beauty still existed, even in the depths of their struggles. We often overlook such moments, yet they remind us of our resilience.
But could that beauty really mask the harsh reality of their situation? They were venturing into uncharted territories, places that had never been recorded by European hands. Every sign they stumbled upon was heavy with the weight of discovery, yet they were far from prepared. These men were explorers, sure, but they were also human beings, wrestling with their own fears and uncertainties, wondering what dangers lay ahead and how they would cope with the unknown.
As the fleet pressed westward, the maps in Columbus' hands began to evolve before our eyes. Each day's log transformed from mere dreams into practical guides for navigating the vast unknown. Yet the challenges remained immense and daunting. The heart of the ocean beat steadily around them, echoing their hopes and fears with each swell of the waves. Columbus found himself caught in a turbulent dance between ambition and the harsh reality of exploration, where every decision could alter the course of history.
The next sighting would change everything for Columbus and his crew. It wasn't just about the thrill of discovery. It was about survival, plain and simple. Every choice he made had real consequences for each man aboard. As they sailed into uncharted waters, the stakes grew higher with every passing day. This is the true essence of exploration, where the excitement of finding new lands often came at a heavy human cost, leaving a mark on everyone involved.
You make a compelling point, Malik. The balance between ambition and the human experience is delicate. Columbus faced immense challenges, and those struggles didn't just test him. They fueled his journey. Without those hardships, would the drive for discovery have even taken root? It's likely those trials were necessary for what lay ahead. They shaped not just him, but the course of history itself. Every great endeavor is marked by obstacles, and it's often in overcoming them that we find our true purpose.
That's where we leave it this time. Christopher Columbus continues. The story isn't finished yet. Find the full series on the Exploration Archive, part of the Archive Network. We'll be back with the next chapter.